I'm Frank Geisler. I'm the CEO of Monterey Peninsula Chamber of Commerce.
Jennifer Kuyper. I serve on the executive board for the Monterey Peninsula Chamber of Commerce.
With this abrupt cessation of activities, of course there's a lot of hurts and a lot of questions that arise, specifically about financial situation. So what's available today?
The state of California has deemed financial institutions to be an essential service. So regardless of what plays out over the coming days, weeks, and months, banks will remain open and available to assist. As far as accessing additional capital in light of what has played out in our recent local economy, we have the capability of accessing funds for a very low cost through the SBA. There is a website, disasterloan.sba.gov, that will require you to fill out some online paperwork and upload some financial information. And this access to capital will not cost the business anything to apply. The turn time estimated currently is 25 to 35 days. So I would suggest that people act not urgently, but it's something to certainly look at over the next week or two. If anybody needs any assistance through the application process, I will make myself personally available to help with what kinds of forms need to be filled out to make sure they're filled out correctly and don't get kicked back. The SBA is additionally not the only method to utilize. There's also state funds that have been earmarked for guaranteed loan programs. So there are many different ways that a local bank can also help.
What other relief funds are available to small businesses?
Aside from the state guaranteed loan program and traditional commercial loan finance, which is still available, and the SBA for disaster type situations, I believe restaurants, hotels, anything that might be affected by the decrease in tourism should consider submitting an application for the SBA disaster relief program sooner rather than later. The loan rates for the disaster loan programs are incredibly attractive. For nonprofit companies, the fixed interest rate is 2.75%.
Fixed.
Fixed.
Fantastic. And what's the term usually for it?
It's up to 30 years, depending on how the loan is, the way that the loan is applied for. The paperwork that's submitted on the front end will dictate how the loan term is structured, and that's where a local lender can probably provide some additional insight to make sure that the request matches with what would be best for the business.
And that's for nonprofit is
2.75.
2.75%
And
fixed.
correct. And for-profit is 3.75% fixed. These funds are up to $2 million. Any loan amount over $25,000 requires some form of collateral, building, equipment, vehicles. Under $25,000 is the maximum unsecured loan amount for the program. All the forms and all the financials have to be uploaded to the SBA website or sent in by mail. Once that's been received by the SBA, it takes 25 to 35 days to process. From there, it's 5 to 7 days for documentation and funding. But that application process is what I would like to emphasize, that the business really focus on starting that time frame.
When you say complete application, explain a little bit.
So a complete application would be 3 years of financial information. So for your small business that just files a tax return, 3 years personal and business tax returns. If your 2019 tax return has not yet been filed, a year-end company prepared profit and loss statement and balance sheet would suffice, in addition to the forms that the SBA has specifically set aside for this program. There are 3 forms that are uploadable on the SBA website.
Tell me a little bit about your bank, your community bank.
Pacific Valley Bank has 3 branch locations: Salinas, King City, and Monterey. We are staffed by 62 people. We are committed to lending locally and serving our customers through this circumstance under the leadership of our board of directors and our senior leadership team. We are prepared to weather this circumstance.
How a community bank operates better for small businesses versus a large national bank, for example?
Well, there's certainly upsides and downsides to both. For me personally, and for the clients that I like to work with at community banks, I think that there is a certain level of appreciation for the individual behind the business. There's also more of a community connection in the sense that you know your local shareholders, your money is working for you locally, you're deploying it locally. It's a little bit more personal, if you will.